Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode, or actually, it's our first. I think it's the first FOC show. Another first episode of a Flashpoint show, and this one is the FOC show. I'm gonna bring my good friend Roy in because Roy, we used to call Roy the King of FOC. That was
That's
his
right.
nickname for at least a year. Was King Roy Roy King
I'm the
FOC.
fucking king.
Yep,
FOC,
and FOC
OCC.
you picked up on, dude. You came out of left field. You picked it up quick, but FOC is not. It confuses people. Some
I
of
had
them.
never even heard of it, and I'm still like really saddened to see all of the comic collectors that are like, "Oh, I can't believe I couldn't get this cover," or "Has anyone been able to find this cover?" And I'm like, "Man, I ordered that like 3 weeks ago. Like, don't you order? I don't understand." Like, like I said, I had never heard of FOC. I didn't know that this was something that you could even do, and so you guys taught me about it at the collective. And at that point, like, what it really does is put all of the power into the collector's hands. And I, like you said, man, I got up on it and was like, however you want it done is what I'm willing to do. So I've gone through everything from long detailed emails to simple I call it click and pray with pull box. But like FOC is legendary, and if you're not using that skill, you need to learn it and put it into practice. And I think that your collecting will be a lot less stressful.
Right? And it's like, yeah, like, here's the thing about FOC before I go into explain it all. The thing about FOC is if you're actually FOCing your books, you're gonna FOC something you regret far less often than you're gonna miss something you get FOMO about.
For
Because
sure.
because if you don't FOC it, you're gonna get the FOMO no matter what. Like, it's gonna
Yeah.
sell out day one, like da 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 da. But like, if you FOC it, yeah, right. I think both of us can admit there's been times where, like, 3 weeks ago we were like, yeah, that's dope. Then it comes and you're like, I don't remember ordering that.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
and that happens, and that happens. It happens in anything. I'm sure my wife has accidentally like ordered something off Amazon or something. It happens.
Sure.
But I think the FOC really covers your butt on, like, oh man, it's sold out. I missed my shot. Now I'm on eBay for $9.99 on a $3.99
That
book.
has never happened to me since you guys taught me this 2 years and change ago.
So
So
I'll jump in. We'll jump into what is FOC. So FOC is short for Final Order Cutoff. I hate saying Final Order Cutoff. It's long, everything like that. So FOC is the buzzword of the day, of the show, of the shop, of most shops.
yeah,
Um, but what it means is on the Monday, some stores it's going to be Sunday because of their operating hours. But on Monday, that is your final day to put in a guaranteed order for the books that are coming out. It's usually 3 weeks. With a holiday like right now, the books you're ordering are 4 weeks in advance. But all the art is there, all the covers are there, all the solicitations are there. You're not ordering blind. With
most of the time,
most of the time, yeah. If Kevin, what is it? Kevin Eastman and who's
Eastman's
the other?
bad.
And Todd McFarlane. If they're on a
McFarlane's
cover,
bad.
you're probably not going to see it.
Yeah,
It's those guys.
yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to show you the way you can see all the art, because that way you're not ordering blind. You can see solicitations. If it's a new book, you can see who's writing it. Everything. You are pretty informed 3 to 4 weeks out. I will not lie to you. So FOC is the last day for you to guarantee a copy. Can you walk into your comic shop on day of release and still get a copy? Absolutely, something that could possibly happen. It's just no longer guaranteed, right? Anything in the world could happen. They could have not ordered any because they didn't believe in it, or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's any number of things that could happen.
Well, not only that, but like, Johnny's only going to carry so many copies
Yep.
of Gargoyles on his shelf, and there are 35 different covers for a Gargoyle book. He's only going to pick a couple, maybe across the spectrum, or what he thinks he's going to sell.
Exactly.
FOC allows you to be like, oh, that's my guy. That's my cover. I follow that dude. I want that.
Exactly.
So
And my
he
other
knows.
great example of it is maybe a book you're not, and I know me and you are guys who fall into this, and it's actually, I love it. I love that we fall into this. But okay, maybe a homie like Alan Qua is doing cover for issue number 8 of some book that you weren't
Yep.
collecting before, right? But you think the
Yep.
cover's awesome.
Absolutely.
Taking the chance on that you're gonna walk into the comic shop and that cover issue 8 cover D is gonna be there.
Yeah.
You're really risking. It doesn't matter if it's a key or not, you're risking it.
Yeah.
So being able to FOC it just means that shop says, oh, you know what? Roy really likes that cover. Let me up by one, guaranteed for Roy. Maybe still 0 go to the shelf, but now you've got yours. So
There's a lot of times that happens. I'm the only guy still. They're like, I don't know
yeah,
how I have an extra copy of this for the wall. And I'm like, let me look at my file. And it's not my file. I'm like, because it's
that's
mine.
me.
Like, I'm the only guy collecting Space Ghost, like at Blackbird. I think there's
Yep.
like, it's all
Dude, I
on
love
site.
Space. Are you still doing the foils? Or did you
No,
not?
they stopped once homie got,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so no more foils. Unfortunately, I'm really sad about it. I'm like $100 deep in Lucio
Yeah.
Carrillo foils for Thundercats, though.
Yep. Yep. Because they're
Yikes!
$10 a
$10 an issue. They just dropped issue number 10. I
piece.
was like, oh my god! I spent $100. I haven't read one of them.
Hey, get them all signed at MegaCon.
Sure, might as well do something with it.
So then the next question naturally is, how do you FOC books? I'm actually gonna throw and honestly, every store is different. Every store is different. Some stores are on Pullbox, some stores aren't on Pullbox. So Pullbox is run through Diamond, even though not every comic goes through Diamond anymore. They run a pretty good system. This is the QR code to our Pullbox. If your comic shop is on Pullbox, you go into Pullbox, type in the name of the store. They then have to accept you. So give it about 24, 48 hours. They will accept you. And then you can order books through the phone, through this website we're going to show you. If your store is not on Pullbox, you can still go to Previews World and look at the FOC and then email your store, whatever is their bread and butter on how to receive that order. You essentially always want to do that. I work a lot at home while I'm chilling playing video games. So I have set our time for Monday, 9 p.m. is and that's pretty late. I get a lot of people like, that's pretty late. 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Other stores, like I said, want it Sunday, Monday by noon. I think we did Monday by noon over at Collected back in the day, like, which is still very fair. But
Sure.
that's how you FOC. If you do it through the app, it's actually really easy. It's almost like making a cart, and then you can even see what you have on order, everything like that. But that's Previews World. If you're just looking at FOC, you go Previews World FOC. I just Google that. You're going to be right there every time, every week. If you want to join Pullbox, go to Previews World Pullbox. Type in the name of your store, or you can find stores around you if you're not from around here. But if you want to order from us, you can literally scan that QR code or type in Flashpoint Comics and Games, and boom, you'll find it. With that being said, let's jump into what Previews World looks like, because some people maybe never seen it. I love this. And honestly, I like it. I feel like I like it more on a computer than on a phone. I do it a lot on my phone, like when I'm bored, but like I like seeing it like this.
The only time I've ever seen it on a computer is when we do this. That's always
Really?
yeah, it's me, man. It's just me and my phone everywhere we go.
Well, your phone is a computer, to be fair.
Yeah, that's my 32-inch Samsung.
So this is what it's going to look like. This is literally previewsworld.com/final orders due. That's how you get to this site. If you are logging in, you go up here to Pullbox and you log in or create an account. And what you'll see is whenever you do go to order, so like if I were going to order, your item will be ordered at Flashpoint Comics and Games. So that's how you can confirm where it's going to, right? So let's look at image real quick. Me and Roy, we always skim through what's just needs to be said, and then when we find something we really like, we're gonna kind of pinpoint it. But this is pretty much everything on FOC that's a comic book. There's definitely other things, but everything that's a comic book is on here. So Creep Show, Drawing Blood, which is Kevin Eastman's thing.
I'm mad that I missed that Kale New Creep Show. I missed that one.
Oh yeah,
I would have bought
Kale's
that.
Good, man. Kale's been quiet lately though.
And I love the Creep. So Creep Shows, that's an old thing for me and my family. So we love that.
It is like Volume 3. Creep Show's been going for a while. It's like
been going for a while, and I just missed it because I've been trying not to cover shop too much. And then later on, I saw that I had passed it by, and I was like, I might have made an exception for that one.
Dust to Dust #1. That's Joelle Jones. They did Catwoman JG Jones. They've done a lot of cool stuff for DC, written and drawn by them. So that's kind of like cool. Red Coat. So you got more Ghost Machine, more Saga coming out. Rockefellers is also Ghost Machine. Spawn, a lot of Spawn. You got Rat City, you got Sam and Twitch, and you've got Violator. So a lot of Spawn. Void Rivals has continued to be great from what I hear.
With that Hot Rod cover.
Yep, and then GI Joe like just dropped recently, so like this universe is like on
Oh,
fire.
they stuck me with 3 covers on that BS, bro, and I could have bought more. Their cover game for that GI Joe #1 was pretty
Dude,
strong.
and those foils, the
Yes.
way they were like matte foils, I liked it. I really
I
wish.
got the freeze on that Cobra
Yes.
Babe. I got that for sure.
Yep, those are cool. So here's Boom. Boom's always a great publisher. You got James Tynan's House of Slaughter, #28, and Huck Lee cardstock variant cover there.
He's been doing those for a few months now. I got the one
Yeah,
last month looks really good too. I think
yeah,
in fact I ordered that one.
he's like officially the C cover, I think. So yeah, like he's been doing that. It used to be the FOC cover. I think they've gone away from calling it that and just been like, hey, he's gonna keep doing it.
Right.
Boom has a real small week. It's a holiday week.
Yeah.
DC does not have a small week. Um, Absolute Batman 1 is onto a fourth printing. That book has been like super fire. It's a good story too, but just in terms of spec and everything, it's been super fire. So we're down to a fourth print. I'm going to tell you, preference wise, this foil cover looks dope. That was the A cover for the third printing, and they've done it in a black and white foil. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is all wild. And then I do like the blank cover with the red letter Batman. The original first print had blue letters. I think the red letter fits this absolute like gritty universe better, almost Frank
Sure.
Miller-esque. And then #2 is getting a second printing.
Thank God.
My
Bro,
What happened?
that Panosian, man.
Dude,
Like,
that's exactly where I was going. I was gonna be like, hey, A's dope because like right, the fire, you got Batman's face like in the building. That's cool, right? The Panosian cover was cool to begin with, right?
I don't know why my guy is suddenly coming out of the woodwork, just absolutely on fire every single month with covers for DC, covers for Conan, covers for like independent stuff I saw. He just all of a sudden out of nowhere back. And I don't know what he's been taking. Like he's been like taking like the old Robotech Protoculture Mind Boost because this stuff that he's cranking out now is just melting my face.
Dude, it's
And then when
so
it comes
good.
to Absolute Batman, I skipped it because I wasn't interested. And then they came out with that foil for #1, and I was like, crap. So I picked it up because I love my foils, and then I had skipped the Panosian because I don't know if I'm interested or not. I wasn't even going to give it a chance. I just wanted to save my money and move on. But then I sat down for my FOC and I saw that #2 is going to be that Panosian and it's going to be that foil, and I was like,
Yeah, that's gonna be with the cover I'm gonna go up on because
I'm
that's a
so
sick cover.
stoked for that, man.
That's a sick cover. What else we got? Absolute Superman #1 second printing. Wow, I thought that was on FOC like forever ago, but here we are. A cover looks cool. It's Rafael Sandoval. B cover is Gilliam March. I think the Scalera foil is cool too. Obviously, none of these things are hitting like that Panosian. Like that's just
No. And
absolute.
I did read Absolute Superman #1, and I thought it was actually pretty decent. I ordered #2. I'm not getting this foil because I got the Jim Lee foil the first time around for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah,
So
Superman had that. I don't even want. I actually think it hurt it more since it was the last one to come out. So like all the Batman had all the hype.
yeah,
Wonder Woman had hypes, and then Superman was like, "Oh, we're hyped out," kind of. But I
yeah,
think they're all great. Kelly Thompson had done a great job on Birds of Prey. So when I saw she was doing the Absolute Wonder Woman, I'm like, all right, I'm down. Like she wrote Barda really well. She wrote that first arc on Themyscira really well.
okay. That's what's
So,
up.
so that's been a good book. It annoys me because even on Lunar, there is no image for this Ariel Diaz cover yet.
Sometimes it happens. Like I don't know what to tell you. That's why when you're like, you'll know. I'm like, not always.
Yep.
Sometimes you get stuck with one of these, and then if you're like an OCD junkie like me, I'll literally start this process Wednesday when I get home from the shop.
Dude.
And so they haven't even begun to load half of it yet.
I think yes. Okay, we did get art here. I can show people. Hold on. We did get art. Lunar just dropped it. I knew I ordered some because Ariel Diaz
Yeah.
doesn't miss a lot. Like I'm gonna give
No,
Ariel Diaz
whatever it
a
is, I'm sure it's rad.
Yeah. So where are we here? Is it this? Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, it took them a while to get it up there, but I want to make sure to show that off because most places probably never updated the art. So that is on FOC today, Monday the 25th.
Wow.
Get that order in if you need it. That's the Ariel Diaz A cover. It's what we call minimum trade dress because it's not virgin, because you can see DC's on there and stuff like that.
Limited trade's the way to go.
I do, yeah. I mean, I get it. A lot of people,
that
it's like,
dumb crap all over my books.
yeah, it's like that extra dollar is a pain, but
It
like
wouldn't be so
it's
bad
worth
if all the logos weren't so garbage all the time. Like that whole on the front of like every main book, it's got the stupid banner and everything. I
yeah,
hate it. Like I
yeah,
understand like having like Action Comics, but I mean like with I don't know. I'm having a hard time thinking of what it is that I'm talking about because I don't know enough about how they've restructured DC over the last few events. But like when that John Stewart book was coming out and everything, right
yes,
before we switched to the all-in absolute stuff, whatever dawn of a new DC or whatever you guys were in, and it's like
yep.
has to be on every single book regardless. And I'm like, that makes me not want to buy it at all. And so I'll buy covers that I like less if they have limited trade, like because I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want it.
Yeah, I like the limited trade. I do like, and I haven't bought a lot, but like now we talked about this, the all-in foils they like been doing for some characters. Like I do like how minimal that kind of is. How it's just the old DC logo up there and like a
Yeah.
little thing. It really depends what character. On those, it depends how much you love the character. Like how much you're gonna want to do it because it is just silver foil background.
Yeah, I got the Green Lantern one and was like, I don't like when they show it to you like this, so I
Yeah,
don't know
because they
what
show
it
it to you
was I was
on a
expecting
white
besides
background.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
But once you get it, it's like it is definitely just showcasing that character. It's phenomenal art. The same guy does them all, I
Yeah,
believe.
Fico CEO. Yep.
Yeah, and so they're all phenomenally done. And I love my Green Lantern foil. I love all foils, so I'm not mad about it. But you do have to really like
Yep.
what you're getting because there's no frills on this thing whatsoever. It's just a reflective background showcasing your character.
Yeah. So we have second print of Batman and Robin Year One. I heard that was good. I literally was just like overloaded with stuff at that time and did not read that. Batman Long Halloween, Last Halloween. That's almost halfway done now. Some cool covers. Batman Off World is finally ending. I feel like that's taken a year to do 6 issues, but that's all right.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, I feel like that was every 2 months roughly. Batman Santa Silent Night Returns number 5. That's the finale. I just got in because I think issue 1 drops this Wednesday, and I just got the like the scratch and sniff covers again.
Yeah.
This year it's in a poly bag.
Oh,
So I
nice.
guess everybody, but it's like the poly bag. It looks like a gift. It's actually kind of cool. Like,
Oh, that's red.
yeah. Black Canary, Best of the Best. That is Tom King's Black Canary book. This is issue 2. I really thought the Lyrics Lee cover was pretty dope. Like Black Canary is
Yeah.
not a top 5 character for me, but that was a dope cover. One thing I want to point out, so DC used to do, I don't remember if they called them DC's Finest before, but they essentially did the equivalent of this. These DC Finest are like collecting some of the best stuff from certain characters and making it really affordable because a lot of stuff's out of print, key issues, whatever. So I do want to point out the DC Finest Harley Quinn Birth of the Mirth. $39.99, but you get a ton of Harley Quinn material in here, including first appearance, some of the early Batman Harley Quinn stuff. You get the first 8 issues of the original Harley Quinn run. So it's really worth it. And I just want to point it out because I know those $9.99 compacts did really
Yeah.
well. And I feel like these DC Finest are going to do really well when they finally come out.
I had to fight myself off from picking up the deceased one actually because I never read any of that, and I was like, all of it for $10 is like super hella tempting. But like,
Yeah.
for me, honestly, I'd rather just spend the extra money and get the full size trade so that it fits the box with everything else.
So I think that's in my box because I think I had those before I moved in here. I like the DC trades. Actually, I think the hardcovers were only like $19.99 at the time because they
Okay.
were like a little bit thinner. But
Yeah.
they look real good on a shelf. I'll tell you that. So like it was,
Right.
I understand like because for dude a whole thing for $9.99.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got the DC Horror Presents, written by Polka Dot Man himself, David Dasherland. Detective Comics, that's the new Tom Taylor run. There's I think the 3rd issue. I did like the Flash cover where he's racing and like Usain Bolt is like,
Yeah.
like I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this guy, Mattia De Alulis, but that cover's pretty sick too.
Yeah.
So that
For sure.
he uncovers. Did you end up doing Green Lantern Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Green Lantern Dark is something I thought was really interesting concept.
Hmm.
And then I really like that Dustin Nguyen got a cover. I think his art style is real cool.
It is.
And then his is the foil. So like that should be
Yeah.
really. Oh, I thought it was hilarious that Harley Quinn got two David Nakayama covers this week. Two different.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, okay, fam.
And I think one I don't want to hate, right? Because I love David Nakayama. I think one is significantly better than the other. Like am I safe saying that?
I think so.
Like Postal Service one's just not a top 10 Nakayama, you know?
They both have their appeal. It depends on what
That's
you
true.
like, you
That's
know, I
true.
guess.
Because this is kind of an homage to the sunscreen
Yeah,
shade.
that's how, yeah, a little bit.
And then Justice League Unlimited #2. So Justice League Unlimited #1 is going to come out this Wednesday. I don't know how many people know. It has a backup story that is, or not backup story, 4 pages at the end that are a zero issue to the Batman Hush sequel by Jim Lee and whoever else did Hush with Jim Lee. Jeez, why am I forgetting it?
Loeb.
Loeb and Lee. So you get 4. It's essentially issue 0. That will not be reprinted in Batman Hush issue 1. So that is really cool. And then now issue 2 will not have a Batman Hush backup story. But I wanted to point out there's a really cool Derek Chu cover with Wonder Woman and Star Sapphire, vintage Chu. And then Ariel Cologne, not Diaz, Cologne did a wraparound cover with the Trinity around Earth. I know it's a little hard to see because it's a smaller cover. If I click it, yeah, it takes me to another screen. I don't like that. I don't like that. What if I do this? Still makes it pretty small. There we go. Look at us. Look at us.
Oh, perfect.
So like it's almost too close to photorealistic for me, but it's still pretty badass.
Yeah.
So like I just wanted to point that one out. And then I will, just because I was able to do it with that one, I'm gonna show off the Chew. Because first of all, Derek Chew is like my original homie, you know, like
Yeah,
before
he's
Alan
elite.
Qual, before everybody, like I was hanging out with Chew. So like so
He's
that's a
elite.
cool
I
cover.
love the comics I have from him.
Let's see what else we got. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, absolute hardcover. If you're like into that, do that for $100. Oh, I did want to show off. There's a raised UV. So there was a raised UV for #1 of Justice League Unlimited, and there is a raised UV for #2 of Justice League Unlimited. That raised UV felt really cool on that book.
Yeah, they're super cool. Nothing's cooler than that Batman werewolf glow in the dark stuff. That's
Tra-
so freaking
Travis asked
cool.
if he's gonna see Roy on Saturday.
Yes, sir, you will. I'll be there. Like,
The
I
only
mean,
thing
I
that
have
won't be there, Travis, is Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, and I apologize. But I went to the VFW the other day to measure out the room, find out how many tables they had, and then support them by buying an alcoholic beverage in the bar, you know. And I looked at their food menu, and for a VFW, bro, they got like I might be sitting there $30 bar tab like just in food by the end of the day because like they got some good stuff in there. I'll actually post a picture in the event page just so people have an idea what they have for food there. But yeah, I wanted to show off that foil cover. Travis Gibb is going to be one of the guests at Nerdy Small Business Saturday on the 30th, but we'll talk about that right after we get through with Marvel. Metamorpho #1, I think, is going to be fun. I think it's going to be a very satire comedy type of book. If you're into that Plastic Man, like I think that's your route right there.
yeah.
I did think the New Gods Mr. Miracle looked cool because it takes up more of the page. Like, you know, that's my biggest complaint about some of those other ones we just talked about is like it doesn't take up a lot of the page, but because he's got the cape, I think
Yeah.
it looks cool.
It does look good.
New Gods #1 is something I'm really excited. That's Ram V. He just did Dawn Runner Independent. It was a really cool mech book. He just got off of Detective Comics. I think this is a perfect property for him. So like check that out. Nice House by the Sea. Power Girls always got fire covers, like even if it's at issue 16. So take an eye on that. B cover and a C cover. Question All Along the Watchtower was really good first issue. I suggested if people like superhero mysteries, but not like in the Tom King like extra complicated style, more like a CSI style.
Yeah, I bet that's a good book. I thought about it when I was scrolling through. Like, I'm not gonna pick it up, but I was like, but I bet it's solid. You know,
It's a great premise. The whole idea of like, hey, the whole idea is you've moved everybody to Watchtower after the events of Absolute Power, so that way, like, you know, they're all safe amongst each other. It literally feels like Justice League Unlimited, right?
right?
But they're like, all right, all the world's best superheroes are up here living. So who's gonna like police them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So Superman selects Renee Montoya the Question as like the sheriff of that, and then the first issue, some crap goes down, and now it becomes an investigation. You
of
know,
course.
but,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was really cool. That was really cool. Now, Roy, how where are you with Marvel currently? Still low end again? Low end?
Bro, I am trying my best to not order anything from these people anymore, dude. Like I as you get through this, you'll see like I don't think I have hardly anything at all on this list. Uh I'm only doing Amazing Spider-Man just because I have them all, and I that's like $3.99 that I regret every single time I spend it. So
Right.
I stopped reading any other Spider-Man title. I don't collect any X-Men title at all, any Avengers title. I don't go for any of these make-believe, non-continuity 5-issue miniseries
All right,
throwaways. Like I don't do it. Like most of my stuff is independent. I'm almost to the point where I read more DC than Marvel.
I'm intrigued. I want to go through this because I haven't looked. Did I do more? I probably have done it once at one point, but like it's not a recent FOC I've done. I sometimes do them on like Wednesday, which is way ahead of time. I'm trying. I want to go through and see if the guard, like me and you, are usually on the same wavelength. We're like, this book. Who's this?
I'll let you know what I'm
Yeah.
still stuck
So,
picking up as we go by it.
my mind is blown that we are just now getting a second print to Aliens versus Avengers because I feel like the first issue of that came out 4 months ago. So like I'm
It was
not
a
sure
while.
where. Yeah, I'm not sure where we are on that. I heard the book was great, but the
Yeah, I hear
fact that
great
we're
things about it.
yeah, the fact that we are here has me worried. All new Venom #2. I don't know how we got from Venom to all new Venom. I'm sure it happens in the pages of Venom. The covers are cool, right? I don't know what's
Sure.
happening story wise. I think the 1 in 10 design cover is really cool. That's a 1 in 25.
But
I thought the
that's
I
why
thought
there's 25 cool covers, because it's the only thing that's cool about it.
I did think this homage to that Web of Spider-Man issue was cool. I honestly, and it's probably because the homage has been done before. I was disappointed that it was Mr. Fantastic and not Venom coming out of the grave. That's my one complaint. Um, oh, it's because they're supposed to be Fantastic Four homages. I see. I bet you we're getting a trailer to a Marvel movie that features 4 superheroes around the time this book is coming out. I bet you, Roy. I bet it. um, I did think this cover was sick. I'm not familiar with this artist, David Patroy,
Paratora?
Paratora.
Paratori? Oh, I don't know. That's rad.
It's a little like Perillo esque, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
for
I,
sure.
I like it. I like that. That would
It's
look sick
super
foil.
cool.
Mark my words. If this book goes to a second print, a foil version of that's the 1 in 25. 100%.
Still ain't buying it.
This is the connecting cover. So there was a connecting version on the back left side for #1,
Great.
and then are they really are still doing Marvel Rivals the game? Like that's still happening?
Yeah.
So they got another set of Marvel Rivals covers. The art is very different. Last time they did Marvel Rivals, it was very bright. Now it's kind of very like Fortnite-esque. It's very interesting. But those are the covers for that one book of Venom. Amazing Spider-Man 61 must have been a minor key because it got a second print.
I ate the Marvel Rivals Spider-Man cover.
This one.
Yeah.
I
got
kind of like it. I don't love the costume. I like the pose. I think whatever artist did that got really the like swinging pose down. I got to give them
Yeah.
all the credit on that.
I mean, just like if I put a gun to your head and was like, you have to buy this comic, which cover would you pick?
Yeah,
So
you got to
if
go
you're,
that one. You
I
gotta
like
go
that one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I get
There's a Scotty. Like
the
there's a
8Z, but I'm
Scotty.
just over. I'm over it.
And then there's like another Fantastic Four because why wouldn't there? Then you have Avengers. God, we're at 22. Avengers 22. Cable, Love, and Chrome. This one to me, Roy, felt like didn't really need it. And I love
Dude,
David Papos. I love David Papos, but I feel like they're kind of just putting him on these books that are meant to turn some wheels and then, he move them to the next thing,
Dude, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, right before the relaunch, Tom Brevoort said on his Substack that they weren't even going to be using Cable and Bishop or any time travelers for the near future. And then it's like, oh crap, we better do this instead. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, this one felt like I felt like Roy as soon as I saw it. Daredevil 17 is on FOC. I do think this is cool. I want to point this out to people. Daredevil Born Again collection. These books come out literally the week before Daredevil Born Again launches on Disney Plus. So if you ever wanted to get caught up, this is the original Frank Miller Daredevil Born Again for $14.99.
That's a good comic. You should read that.
$14.99 is not a bad price for all of that too. Back
Nope.
in the day, that trade would have been $24.99.
Easy.
There is Daredevil Unleash Hell. This is a Red Band book featuring him and Elektra. It's Red Band, so it's gonna come polybag, so kids can't look at it. I think the only cover Sway's all right. Sway's like kind of worn himself out on me a little bit. I think the only cover I really liked was Stephanie Hahn's, and it's mostly because I like the paint drip aesthetic that she has going there. But yeah, that's another Red Band book, which means 18 up. Probably a lot of gore in there. All right, I don't know where I'm sitting on Daredevil Unleash Hell. Or sorry, not Daredevil Unleash Hell. The Deadpool Wolverine. But Deadpool Wolverine #1. I get it. The miniseries was really popular. I think the only thing that has me on board with this right now is that it is written by Ben Percy, who is the guy that was writing Wolverine for the last 3 years or so, and did a really good job.
And Ghost Rider, he did some good stuff, but I still pass him on this.
Yeah, I will say I think the cover a lot of people are gonna want is the MCU cover. That's cool. And then I did think you used to get this guy's covers I think in the early Spider-Boy days, maybe even.
Yeah, Wally's bad.
Yeah, so that's a cool cover. It's animation style cover, really cool. I also did think Frank Miller's cover is it's there, it exists. But I thought these Doodle Pool covers were kind of funny. I think they could have been done better. I think it's a little minimalistic. So that's what I'll say with that. What else we got?
I'm still reading Namor, so I got Namor.
Namor only got 2 more issues to go. That's Jason Aaron, so no, that makes sense that you like the Absolute Superman. Same guy.
Yeah.
New Champions #1, because we needed more new champions. And it's like Scarlet Witch has a protege, and there's a Wakandian. It's literally what New Champions was a decade ago, but again. So it's like a bunch of people you don't know of who are related to people that you love. And it's and they want you, maybe they'll get you. The Art Germ cover is cool. I want to like the Rose Besh cover, but it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't. It's all right.
Yeah, I feel like that one's kind of a miss, which is super, super, super rare for her.
Yes.
And of course, this is all just subjective. But
yeah, and right, this is all just 2 dudes' opinions sitting in their house. But I
don't read any of this stuff.
Miss NYX, I was gonna call it Miss Marvel. The NYX book, which is pretty much Miss Marvel, Laura Kinney, and somebody else. I did think.
Oh, never mind. I lied. I ate this Adam Hughes foil.
I was just gonna say I did think that as you look at it, and it's written by Tim Seeley, so they're not putting a no name on there. But this first issue is entirely pick the cover you like and go with it. So there's
I'll never even read it, but I absolutely was like, all right, I'll have that Adam Hughes foil.
Adam Hughes foil is gorgeous. I think that's one of the best covers Hughes has done in the last year or two, because I felt over the last year or two his work has kind of,
Yeah.
Guy
stretches himself thin.
J. Scott Campbell looks good too. He's drawing him real skinny.
Yeah.
And
it's the same thing where it's the same. It just looks like the same image over and over and over again.
I kind of like the Greg Land. It almost looks like a Spider-Man homage.
Speaking the same thing over and over and over again, though.
Yeah, there you go. That's his position. That's his go-to position. I thought there was another
garbage.
cover.
Read Conan. Conan is good. Titan Comics is good. Alien Books is good. Stop giving these people money.
I thought I saw a booty cover somewhere. Oh, it must have been the 1 in 25. 1 in 25 is obviously a booty cover. Sam Wilson, Captain America. This is one where and it hurts. It breaks my heart that Greg Pak is the guy that's stuck with this. And I'm sure he feels if you asked him about it, he'd say he's really passionate and excited about it. But look at that cover, Roy, and tell me that's not just hey, we have a movie coming out. So can this comic book, can people buy this before or after the movie?
Can't Sam Wilson just be his own dude? Why does he have to
I
live
thought
in Captain
Falcon's an
America's
amazing
shadow?
character.
Like,
I think Falcon is so cool. Why demote him? In my opinion, demote him to Captain America.
own character with his own lore and his own story, and he doesn't need to be held down by
Look at
that
Wireless Patricio over here,
garbage.
homaging homages.
That's my guy, though, man. I
He
love
is.
Master Portasio. He
He
is
is.
some of the best hands. Love that guy's hands.
We got Sentinels 4, Spider-Gwen 9,
No.
Star Wars Ahsoka, Star Wars Battle Jakku, Treasury Edition of Darth Maul, Black, White, and Red. That just means it's gonna be a little bit bigger, but it's a trade paperback. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure it's dope.
Ultimate Black Panther,
I'm still ordering this, but I'm super behind on it and don't know for how much longer I will collect
Which
it.
one? Ultimate Black Panther?
Ultimate Black Panther. I'm behind on it, and so I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my interest in all of this stuff is like fading out.
Yep. X-Men 8. I thought these crossover covers were kind of cool. I couldn't even figure out what books were all the crossovers were in, so I didn't order any.
That's Calvin, isn't it?
What?
That looks like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes.
It does. It honestly looks like a weird mixture of like almost Scotty Young-esque with like Calvin and Hobbes. Like it's comic strip-esque, let's just call it that. But I couldn't figure it out because it's one of those crossovers where like Uncanny X-Men is one, Extraordinary X-Men is one. Like I can't do that. You're not getting me. Werewolf by Night. I did think these What If Galactuses are interesting. So what if Galactus transformed Gambit?
No.
And the only cover I really liked was this one. I thought they did.
Yeah, it's a cool cover. He looks great. Don't get me wrong,
but I don't think they brought an A-list artist. They should have brought an A-list artist over there to really.
What's the most throwaway thing ever? I am still reading Werewolf by Night, and I got that EM Gist cover.
That's that one, right? That's the A cover. So have you been checking out Mark Spears at all?
I don't think so.
So he's an artist. I think you'll like his art style. He's very mixture of like EM Guest meets Bjorn. Okay. Next time I see a cover by him, I'll show it to you. But he's pretty good. What if Galactus transformed Hulk? The only cover I thought was decent on this was Platt. I thought Platt did an all right job on that.
Oh, thank God I didn't see that.
Stephen Platt. But Hulk's not even in the cover, which makes me a little annoyed because Gambit was in all of his. What if Mickey and Friends became the Fantastic Four? It exists. It's an all. Let me say this, right? This book is not made for us. This is an all ages book for somebody who is a big fan of Fantastic Four and wants their kids to be interested. So I get it. Scotty Young cover's cool with Goofy as the fireman, as a Human Torch. Phil Noto does Daffy as the Thing. Christy Zulu does a cute cover in her style. And that's what I have to say about that. Like, I don't want to hate on it. It's an all ages book. It's meant for kids. They just can't leave Gambit alone. Gambit's gonna make a name for himself around here. Another Wolverine number 5. So we're at that. The God. I'm not gonna lie. This is a dope cover. Godtail. That would look sick foil. People would pay $9.99 for that foil. Is all I'm saying. Marvel.
Don't let you say that. I don't have to buy that.
Give them too many ideas. And then you have X-Force 7. And then real quick, I'm going to run through the independents before we close out. Obviously, DuckTales, and what we want to show off with DuckTales is freaking Alan Quah. I liked his number 1, the close-up of like Scrooge looking at the coin. But if you've noticed on the rest of these, he gets bigger with his scope, like more ducks in there and everything.
Yeah. And
I just love it. Like this is great. His number 3 is great because it puts all the nephews in there. And then smashing. I know, where is it? So Quad does do a foil. I usually qualify to get 1 foil because it's usually like a 1 in 10. So I think that's, yeah. And then I do think these are cool. Like the old school animation, like whether it's an old animation cell or you have something like, I like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't love I loved the show, but I didn't love the redesign of the ducks when they went back to Disney a couple years back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Gargoyles Winter Special. No Perillo on this, huh?
No, I got that one that you're hovering over.
The kind of big white, the white
Leopolos.
one. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cute.
I kind of like how the A cover is like a Lion King homage, kind of like they're
Yeah.
going over the bridge. Johnny Quest is cool. I read the first couple issues. I fell off, but I liked it. Lilo and Stitch has actually been really good. Lauren's loved that. This is not what Color Bleed is, but I'll let Dynamite continue to believe that.
Okay.
It's like you just did a white background, bro.
Yeah.
Perillo. So where's Roy's foil? There's Roy's foil for Perillo.
I ordered that foil.
You didn't order the freaking Rick and Morty looking foil, bro?
No.
This art is wild, bro.
It is way out, and all respect to it, but especially at $10 a pop for a foil, which is blood money.
Yep.
Like even Marvel only charges you like $6-7.99.
Yep.
So $9.99 is absolute blood money for a foil. I definitely am not coming out of pocket for some weird throwaway thing, you know.
Yeah, right. Just so we can laugh about it later. And then this is where, so if they're not from the big, what I call big four now, so IDW and Dark Horse kind of falling out of that, they're gonna fall under comics and graphic novels. I'm gonna skim through here real quick because I do believe there's one book from one of those published. This is also where Alien books would be.
Yeah, there's no good Titan stuff. There's no good Alien book stuff. Like
Oh,
this
so
is all like,
here's the homeboy I was talking to you about actually, Roy. So Mark Spears ended up having his own book. He usually does covers, but this is his own book. It's called Mark Spears Monsters.
oh
But like
wow.
that's just an
Oh
idea
wow.
of what his art style is like. Like he uses those bright colors in contrast to darks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
Mark
into that.
Spears is his name. Good guy, good artist. But like I hadn't heard of him much either. I think he started doing Spawn covers, is where he started. Spawn B covers, just randomly. But
Yeah.
I figured you might like his art style. And then and that's a third print of number 1 of that book if anybody else was interested in that. That Mark Spears presents Monsters. Let me see. I swore. Oh, that's what I want to do. TMNT Naruto. I know it may be for some people, may not be for others. The reason I want to talk about it real quick, Roy, if you don't mind. So I was doing my CGC stuff yesterday at Coliseum of Comics Kissimmee, and I got to meet Caleb Gollner, who is the writer of this book.
Oh, badass.
Nice dude, bro. Like super nice dude. So I was able to get a couple copies signed by him. Shredder cover, like the Naruto run cover, like
Is
a
that
cover by
right?
Jorge Jimenez, and then the 40th anniversary cover, which I
I'm gonna have
love.
to
So I
start
got
me a
those signed by
pile.
Caleb. But what I wanted to say, the reason I want to show this off is because first of all, Caleb Gollner, super cool guy. I'm sitting, I'm just, you've been there, you've been at conventions, like fanboy. You're just sitting there as a witness, like fans are supposed to have their interaction with these guys. Like you're just there, you're a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and they were busy. Thankfully, like for everybody involved, they were real busy for first like hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm just sitting there doing my thing. And finally they get a break. And I'm like, hey dude, could you sign a couple of mine? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, and we're talking about something. He's from LA, so he's talking about something. He said something about his kid. I'm like, oh, I'm having my first kid, in a couple months. And dude, now it's funny because like so many times at these tables we have conversations about comics, right?
Yeah.
And he's over here like, oh, dude, you're gonna love being a dad because of this. You're gonna love, like, he's giving me advice. He's like, oh, you got to buy this thing. It's on Amazon, $20. Buy it. Like,
Yeah,
so like
that's
he
stuff you
was a
need,
super
yeah.
cool guy. The book, he said the book's been done since May, so you won't see any delays. So I want to show that off. Shout out to Caleb Gollner. Dude is super cool, killing it with this book. So this is the A cover, again done by Jorge Jimenez. There is a variant cover here that has them fighting against the foot. I do like this set of covers here that kind of matches the Naruto run cover from the first one with the turtles kind of jumping at them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a connecting cover, but you could definitely put them side by side. And I also love this one of the turtles eating at like the noodle spot.
Yeah.
Like,
Ichiraki ramen.
Yep. So I love that. So that was what I want to show off. And honestly, you guys at any point in time can scroll through all of this and find out. Also has books, like art books. So like you see, if you loved Wild Robot and you want the art book, that's there. It will show you toys. It will show you things like dice and a vinyl, original soundtrack vinyl to Batman. It's going to show you there are no Funko Pops, but it'll show you Funko Pops. It's going to show you games. So that is Previews World. And just one more time for any of y'all, if you missed the beginning of the show, you go to Pullbox, and you can easily sign up for any store that is on Pullbox. And if you want to sign up through us, you can scan this QR code, and it'll take you right to us. You can start adding books once I approve you. Let's say, give me 12 hours. I don't got nothing to do today. And with that being said, Roy, this weekend we have a big weekend, big Saturday, to say the least.
That's what's up, man. I'm excited.
So Saturday, we're going to be out at the Winter Springs VFW for Nerdy Small Business Saturday. Saturday after Thanksgiving is always Small Business Saturday, right? Like, you're supposed to go out, shop small. You know, you don't go to Walmart that day. You go to the furniture store run by Jimmy, you know? So I figured, and I had this idea for probably 2 years now, what smaller business is there than comic creators just trying to get their stuff out there? And then as I got a venue that was big enough, I'm thinking, what else is smaller than these people that are making, you know, freaking candles at home, or
practical one-man armies.
Yeah. Like I'm like, it don't get smaller than that. So that's what we're doing. Right down, I can go off the top. We got a lot. We're gonna have a lot of comic books. So if you're a comic book person, stop by. I have myself with tons of current comics, some back issues. We're gonna have tons of kids books and graphic novels. We are gonna have T-Rex comics and collectibles, big with the minifigures, Legos, comic books, and tons of stuff. He had a bunch of kids' clothes last time.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I was able to talk to Splatterweb and Johnny Stroll. Johnny will be out there. So Splatterweb really brings the heat with like some older Silver Age, some keys. Johnny's honestly going to be the go-to vintage comic vendor out there. We're going to have
a great guy all the way around.
Yeah, great guy. You guys will want to talk to him forever. So
I love Johnny.
Come see Johnny. I'll have the Orlando Collector Deviants out there. They do vintage toys. They're the Rise of the Phoenix peeps. Vintage toys, vintage, like, honestly, Steve has been collecting since he was probably 12, and they were saying a lot of it is his collection that he never opened. So it's like a lot of vintage stuff, not in perfect condition, but still carded and everything like that, not opened. I also am gonna have a lady there. God, I forget some of their names, so I apologize. But a lady there that's doing custom candles that she makes. And when I say she makes, like, it's not like she picks the smells. She damn molds these things. She makes Mickey Mouses. You know, it's like funny, crazy candles. Cool. And I like that.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I like wonderful. That. I got a lady that's got Hello Kitty merch, which makes tons of sense with Nerdy Small Business Saturday. She's a big nerd, Hello Kitty. I also have a vendor that's got I just did. Oh, she does Christmas decorations, handmade Christmas decorations. She does like superhero art on like panels. So it's like a little bit more of that screen printed stuff, but like really cool. And then she also makes her own chocolate. So she'll have chocolate truffles for sale at the event.
That's what's up. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Then we also are going to have a table where kids can make friendship bracelets, because I know that's the bling bling they all want, you know. So we'll have all the beads, all the letters. They'll be able to make friendship bracelets. Lauren will be teaching kids simple board games. Just bring the kids, let them play at the table. You guys shop around. Lauren will be teaching them about 15-minute board games. And then we're gonna have Santa in the building all day. I just confirmed. I was like, Santa, what time? You know, you gonna stop for like 2 hours? You know, I feel you. You gotta hit everybody else. He's like, I'm gonna be there all day. So Santa will be all day, talking to kids about their Christmas list, whatever. And then if you do want to take a picture, you take a picture on your own phone. It is a small $3 fee. That is just to help Santa with the gasoline for the sleigh and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing I'm really excited about, I just ironed out the details just before we got here. We're doing an ugly sweater contest. That's more fun, right? That's more fun. There'll be prizes. Wear a funny little sweater. We'll take a picture and we'll tell you who wins at the end of the day. But what I'm really excited about is we just hammered home our food drive. We are doing a food drive. We are guests to Winter Springs. I am not from Winter Springs. We live in Apopka, right? Roy is not from Winter Springs. Almost none of our guests are from Winter Springs. We are guests in their backyard. So we always wanted to do a food drive because it's the holidays, right? Everybody just ate good for Thanksgiving. Let's be thankful, and let's make sure people have something good to eat for Christmas, right? Or for Hanukkah, or for whatever, right?
Whatever it may be.
Yeah. So we found out that the Winter Springs Elementary School, which is right down the road from our venue, has their own food pantry. They are in need of food. So we are doing a food drive where all the food will go to the Winter Springs Elementary Food Pantry right down the road. And we will be doing a giveaway every hour for the food pantry participants. So if you bring,
Nice.
and I'll explain this as well in a graphic a little bit later today. So if you donate in the first hour, if you come in at 12 o'clock when we open and you give us food, you will be entered into all 5 of the giveaways. And then
Okay.
if you give food, at 3 o'clock, you'll be entered to the last 2 giveaways.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how much food you give, you're gonna be entered. We just
For every
non-perishable.
subsequent hour
Yep.
after you
Mhm.
after you
Mhm.
donated.
You essentially, it's early bird gets more opportunities, right? Like,
More
and you just,
worms.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what we're doing. I'm really excited because um I wanted to do the food drive. We did comics for veterans last time because we were close to Veterans Day and everything like that. But like, with the holidays, man, it's just like there's a lot of people struggling. So we thought
Absolutely.
food pantry, man, food drive, and then keep it local, right? It would have been easy for me to come to a Popka. Every city has a food pantry that needs food, but we want to keep it in that community. So that's,
Sure.
make it better than when you got there is like kind of what
Always.
I live by. So that's
Yep.
what we're gonna do. So yeah, guys, come by. Roy's gonna be there. I think Nick's gonna be there. Comic creator guests. We're gonna have Travis Gibb, Matt Knowles, Emily Rysette, Sabian Willis, and then a new artist that I met at Lake County Comic Con called Crystal Face. He's a young kid out there go getting doing conventions. So it's gonna kind of be cool to see Emily and another young one, like the future of comic books right there in our building,
I
dude.
love it.
Hell yeah, Roy. Roy,
That's exciting.
you always ended on a positive note when you haven't just freshly looked at Marvel.
Yeah, bro, that's so disappointing all the time. Yeah, well, like you were saying, dude, we're at the end of the year, we're at the holiday season. Different people have different beliefs and different practices, but I think that one thing we could all do is practice being more just kind to each other and worrying more about, human needs than the things that divide us in times like this. It's cold out there. The food is great, but don't forget socks, blankets, stuff like that can help.
Yeah,
So check your linen closet, and just be nice to somebody.
yeah. I say this actually. I think it was last week because if we a couple, Thanksgiving's always weird. It's either last week of the year or sometimes it falls around like 22nd, 23rd. So I think last week on one of my Facebook memories, I always, especially when I was single. Now that I'm married, I sometimes forget it, and it hurt. It honestly hurts to know that I forget it. Um, Around this, first of all, check on your friends all times a year, right? 12 months out of the year, check on your friends. But I tell people, man, I don't think there's a time it's more important to
This
check
is
on
the
your friends
time.
because you never know what they're going through, man. I remember the first Christmas after my grandpa passed. Like, it was really hard, like when I was single and I was working retail on Black Friday and I'm sitting in an apartment by myself on Thanksgiving, like, you never know, man. And these people don't want your pity. They don't want your money. Like, they don't need your
Yeah.
money. What they want is to just know you care. Somebody cares that somebody loves them. So that's what around this time of year I always say: check on your friends, tell them you love them. You don't have to invite them to dinner. You don't have to invite them to your Thanksgiving. You don't have to, like, if you're doing a Friendsgiving, that's great, but don't feel like there's a giant obligation. But at least check on them and make sure they're all right and tell them you love them.
You'd be surprised what you can get with just a kind word. You know what I mean? Like that's really all that anyone really needs. So
Yeah,
it's up to
man.
us to do it for one another. So
I'll
we
end this
keep
show
bringing
different
it
than
back.
I end most. For the next, so what we got about 5 weeks in the year. For the next 5 weeks, once a week, try to make somebody that doesn't live in your house. I'm talking to everybody, and obviously not just you, Roy. Make somebody that doesn't live in your house smile. Trust me, you're gonna feel good about it, and the good you put out into the world with that one smile could do so much. So
Amen.
like, so that's my advice. And we will see everybody on the 30th at the Winter Springs VFW from 12 to 5, man. We'll be there a little earlier setting up. Good food, good people, good vendors, Santa Claus. And if you get a chance, bring some food, non-perishables for the food drive. And like Roy said, the pantry will take socks and they'll definitely take blankets. I know that all day. So like, it's a cold time of year. And if the elementary school pantry doesn't take it, we will work with the VFW to find a
Yeah,
place.
we'll get it
There'll
somewhere.
be a
Yeah, I'm
place, there'll
sure.
be a place in Winter Springs that'll take it. Trust me, every city needs it. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Roy. We will be doing the
Always.
FOC show once a week, and I'll actually be back on here tomorrow showing off the new books. It feels like my life never ends, but I love it. Can't complain.
That's what's up.
Later,
Later.
guys.